Good morning, everyone. This is the quote, the mug of the day. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. It's appropriate with what we're going to talk about today. Um, so, I wanted to share with you my three favorite energy practices. And so, you know, keep in mind that I'm all about the marriage or the synergy of energy with strategy. And if you've heard any of my lives in the past, you know that I feel strongly about the fact that they're two, literally like two birds of one, of two wings of one bird, meaning like you can't soar if you don't have energy, and you also can't soar if you don't have strategy. The two birds, the two wings of the bird. So, oftentimes, um, I like to use this concept of the 80-20. Usually when people talk about 80-20, it's 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think a lot of us get lost in doing a lot of things that don't actually land a whole lot of results. And part of knowing what strategy to use, part of knowing how to move forward, what your unique path is to literally have a clear sense energetically of what's aligned, what's in flow, what's in trust in some ways. And so I'm going to share that with you in how to use your energy to lead to the right strategy to make a difference in your life and in your business, and to make sure that you are having the success that you want, that you are getting filled up with ideal clients. Um, this concept of 80-20, I like to say that success, soulful success, real success, the success that feels good, is actually 20%. I feel like my mic is a little off, is actually 80% energy and 20% strategy. Now, that doesn't mean that the strategy isn't important. The strategy is actually extremely important, but I do think that without the right energy, no strategy will work. And not only will it not work, you will pick the wrong strategy. So everything comes from that place of energetic alignment first. And then when you have that energetic alignment, you move into strategy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elsa Cantiader. I help spiritually conscious, soulful entrepreneurs, usually service based entrepreneurs, healers, transformational coaches, holistic or wellness practitioners and professionals, therapists, to essentially find their own unique path that feels good, that is soul aligned, to have more clients, more impact, more money, and to do that with a lot more ease and a lot more joy. Because as I like to say, if it doesn't feel good, if you don't love it, then it's not success. So what's the point? All right, so let's dive in. By the way, before I start, I am planning a retreat, and this is going to be, I'm extremely excited about this. I think I'm going to call it the Client Overflow retreat, and it's going to be, again, that marriage of strategy and energy. I'm going to give you a couple extremely powerful strategy that I use to essentially fill up and get fully booked in my programs, and I'm also going to give you the energy and energetic practices to align with your client and align with your soul, so that you fill up your practices and you fill up your programs with ease, and that you're attracting the right clients. So if that feels interesting to you, just put #retreat in the comments, and I will send you, I'll put you on the list and send you the details. And this is going to be a free retreat. It's going to be a whole day free retreat. All right. So you know who I am. I've introduced myself. Say hi to me. If you're here at any point live, or if you're here in the replays, say hi. Let me know where you're watching this from. I think this is one of the fascinating aspects of social media and having moved online in many ways, is how much smaller the world have gotten, and to what degree we're able to connect from all over the place. It's really, actually, it's quite exciting to me. So let's move on to strategy number one. So I had a conversation with a friend over the weekend, and she essentially asked me, What is it that you wanted to do when you were like little? And it took me a while to answer. And I said to her, I said, well, I've always wanted to be a therapist. By trade, by the way, if you don't know me, I'm a licensed therapist. I've worked with entrepreneurs on mindset and different like balance of work life and all of that for a long time. And then I moved on to strategy and lead generation. So I told her, I said, well, I always knew I wanted to be a therapist. I wanted to help people. And she said, yeah, I mean, before that, you weren't like 5 years old saying, I want to be a therapist. Like that's an older person, uh, teenager, maybe even language. And I said to her, I said, well, I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be seen. I was into ballet for a long time. But that was also more like when I was 10, 9, 10, 11. And then she said, before that, like when you were a kid, like a real kid, like 5, 6 years old, what what did you want to do? What did you want to become? And the first thing that came to my mind was I wanted to be powerful. And she was like, ooh, that's juicy. Tell me more. And she said to me, she's like, why did you want to be powerful? What did that mean to you at like 5 or 4? And I said, it meant I wanted to change the world. I wanted to be able to not only have an impact on myself, because I think as a child, like everybody's always bossing you around. Like I wanted to be powerful for myself so I could define my life, so I could do what I wanted. But I also felt like I wanted to be powerful so I could have like an effect on the world around me. And I've been playing with this idea. I talk a lot about passion. I talk a lot about purpose, but I rarely talk about power because it's kind of a dirty word in some ways. And hey, Andrew. Um, and so, but behind the passion, behind the purpose, as I delved into it, there's power there. There's the power of being seen, of being heard, of having an impact, of creating the life that I want. Power is there. And so the first energetic strategy that I have is for you to connect with your deepest why and to do that regularly. And oftentimes, when you start connecting with your deepest why, you start peeling the layers of the onions. Like at first, we think like we answer that from up here. Like my deepest why for my business, my deepest why for my purpose is this. And we're talking about what we want to create. But why do we want that? Why is that important? And sometimes actually going back to that childhood place, even if you say, well, I wanted to be a doctor. Well, why? What did that mean for you at a real embodied, in your heart, in your bones kind of place as a child? Like most of us have a sense in our head of what that means. Or I wanted to be an astronaut, but why? Like, what was it about being an astronaut that was so enticing, fascinating? Was it the spaciousness? Was it the discovery? Was it the adventure, the exploration? And so being able to actually get to the root of what it was that got us moving and that got us alive, made us come alive as a small child, and to make sure that that is still there in what we're doing today. When you can really connect to like that most alive why, that deepest soul-based why, that is a why that comes literally from beyond you. It is a why that is literally the seed of everything that's going to move you through your life. And it is extremely powerful. So that's my first energetic practices in some ways, is to figure out really at the deepest what is your why, and to keep connecting to the energy of your why over and over and over. It could be a feeling, it could be a belief, like what's underneath it at the core, and to really sense into that. Hey, Sharon. All right. So that's number one. Connect to your deepest, most soulful why. Number two is check with your vibes, check with your energy regularly. So, as I stated at the beginning of this live, no strategy is going to work if your energy is off. Like you could have the best strategy, you could know exactly what you're doing. It could be a very powerful strategy. But if your energy is off, if you're not having fun, it's not going to work. It's not going to captivate. You're not going to reach your people, the people you're meant to reach. So, this seems simple and we know this. Like if you're watching this video, you know what I'm about to say, and yet I guarantee you that most of us don't do it. You want to check yourself, check your energy, check your vibes, check your heart daily and sometimes multiple times a day. And you definitely want to do this before you're creating content, before you're going live, before you're doing all these things that you're doing to essentially share your passion, share your missions, share your message. So the easiest way I do that is I literally take my hand and I put my hand on my heart. And there's something about that motion that just literally brings my head down into my heart and connects to my body. And I can just see where I'm at in that moment. I can just sense, what does it feel like to be Ilsa right now? What does it feel like to be me right now? And I can check how I feel. And so if you feel open, if you feel expanded, if you feel filled with possibilities, trusting, creative, inspired, peaceful, present, joyful, giddy, then you know that you are in the right vibe. Like, are you having fun? Sometimes that's the easiest question I ask myself. I just check in, I say, am I okay? And am I having fun? Is this fun? And if the answer is no, then it is my job to change, to shift this, to figure out how to meet myself where I'm at and what I need to do to get back into alignment with the feelings that will lead to the success that I want to create. So, if we go back to number one, which was connect to the seed of that deepest desire, that deepest mission that you have, of what you want it to be, your vision. For me, if I go there and I said, I wanted to be powerful, I wanted to have independence in my life, a way of leading and creating the life I know I was born to live, and I want to have an ability to share that with people and impact the world. So if I sense with this sense of power, then I can connect to my heart and say, is this power alive right now? And if it's not, like, what does this power feel like? It feels grounded. It feels sovereign. It feels spacious. It feels open. It feels in absolute complete trust and conviction and certainty. Do I feel that right now? And if I don't, what do I need to do to shift that and to get back into the energy of that vision, to get back into the energy of what success feels like and what will essentially attract people? And the reason I say it this way is because the energy that's going to work for me, the feeling that's going to work for me, might not work for you. For you, it might not feel like certainty or power. For you, it might feel like love. For you, it might feel like joy. For you, it might feel like gratitude. You have to find what success tastes like for you, what that sense that you're on the right path and this is yours, this is right, feels like for you. And then you have to do what you need to do in action in your life to be there as often as you can and to make sure that when you act, when you move from that place. Sharon says she gets her ideas when she's barely awake. I mean, that happens too, absolutely. Connecting to, when we're barely awake in some ways, we're fresh, we're brand new, and that can be when things are able to flow. So, figure out what it is that you need to do to shift your energy to that highest vibration. That could be you taking a well-deserved break. Like yesterday, I didn't plan this, but I decided to spend most of the day watching some cool dancing movies on Netflix. I haven't done this in forever. It's kind of a waste. I sat outside in the shade and watched movies on my iPad on Netflix. And there was a little part of me that said, you should be live. You should be doing this. You should be posting. You should be connecting with people. Should. When the word should comes in, that's usually when I know I'm in the wrong vibe. And actually, I need to follow my heart and I need to follow what feels fun, what feels good right now. So Figure out what it's going to take for you to shift that energy. Maybe you need a well-deserved break. Maybe you need to reset and review by journaling or by going for a long walk. Maybe you need to do something fun that's going to create that sense of joy, of generosity, of delight. Maybe you need to look at the beauty around you and connect to the abundance of life and what you have to feel grateful for. Maybe you need to soothe your nervous system. Maybe you're overwhelmed or you're afraid, and you just need to do some deep breathing, some staying with yourself, some kind touch, some repeating uplifting statements. I also love nature practices. I love to connect to what I call like the life force that is within me, but that is also around me. So Qigong could be amazing for that. Reiki or energy work can be amazing for that. Yoga, just sitting and basking in the sun and just sensing whatever it's gonna take to get you in the right vibe, so that when you move, when you act, when you connect with people, you're connecting from that place of empowerment, from that place of peace, from that place of certainty, from that place of trust and depth and presence that is literally magnifying. That lets people know this person feels good in her own skin. She knows what she's talking about. She has a path forward, and she can help me get to where I need to go and where I want to go. So that's number 2. Once you have your vision and you have that deep feeling sense of that vision, then check your vibes and make sure that your vibes, your energy is aligned with that vision, and do what you need to do to shift it and to put you back in that sense of success, in that sense of certainty, in that sense of peace. Okay, now I'm going to go to 3. And this is a little more strategic. This is using your intuition in many ways and using imagination to lead towards the right strategy. So the first thing I want to say about this is I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that all of life is alive, and that everything is alive in some ways to come forward and actualize itself. So that is true of you and I, right? Like, you're alive, I'm alive, every human is alive. That is true of our pets, that is true of plants, but it's also true of things we don't actually consider to be alive. So one thing that's been extremely powerful for me is to consider that my business is alive. My business, the core, which is aligned with my mission, with that vision of what I want to create, how I want to impact the world. My business itself is alive, and my business itself has a purpose, has an energy, has a vibe that is its own. It's not that my business belongs to me. My business belongs to itself. It has its own aliveness. It has its own being, its own purpose, its own life cycle. And it came through me almost like a child, right? Like, we have a child comes through us. Yes, it might be our child, but it is its own, his own, her own. Your child has its own life, its own purpose, its own deepest desire. So does your business. Your business is alive with itself. It is alive with what it was created to bring forward in this world and the impact it was created, which is why sometimes I have energy healers say, I don't want my work to be a business. Screw that. If you're out here and you're sharing your work, you're sharing your gifts with people, and they're paying you for your energy, it's a business, and it deserves to be treated as such. It's not a hobby. It's not something you do on the side for fun. It is a business. Even if you're not doing it full time, it is still a business, and it needs to be owned at that, because it has its own soul. It has its own meaning, its own desires. And so one of the things I do when I'm stuck or when I want to just clarify things is I take a pen and paper and I imagine that my business is this being and that it has a voice, and it is my business partner. My business is my partner in essentially bringing it out to life to the highest potential. Just like if I had a teenager and I'm here to support this teenager, and this teenager is there to support himself or herself into creating the best life possible. We are in this together. My business and I are in this to bring this mission, to bring this vision out into the world. And so this is another practice, is to essentially, almost in meditation, align. If my business had words, if my business could communicate with me, what would it say about what is happening in the work, in the sacred work that we do right now? What does it have to say about the current strategy that we're using, or about the content that we're putting out, about the way I'm showing up? Am I in alignment? Does it like it? Does it feel right or not? What does it what If I can talk to my business and ask, hey, what do we need to do more of? What do we need to do less of? I shit you not, I've never done this exercise and not gotten some very clear piece of wisdom as to what needs to shift, what I need to do, what I need to shift internally, what I need to shift in my belief system, what I need to talk more of. I mentioned this, I think, when we were talking. I did a live a couple weeks ago about alignment and the 7 things or the 8 things we need to be aligned to. And I mentioned in there how I love to talk about strategy. I love to talk about how to connect with people, how to grow your audience and your community, how to market in a way that's authentic. Like, I'm juiced up by strategy. How to create an offer that literally lights people up just in the title and the subtitle of your offer, where they're like, hey, I totally want that. Because that makes everything so much easier for us as soulful entrepreneurs. But a little while back, when I connected to my business and I kind of asked, hey, what do I need to do more of to reach the kind of people that I want to work with who could really benefit from me? I got the clear direction from my business that I needed to talk more about energy. That's where this whole live about alignment came in. And that the strategy is what people need. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this as entrepreneurs, but there's always this thing about, you sell what people want and you give them what they need. Oftentimes when somebody wants to shift something in their lives, whether they want to shift something in their business, or they want to lose weight, or they want, a better, more intimate relationship, or they want to attract their soulmates, whatever it might be that people want your support for, there is what they want, and then there is what they're going to need to do to get what they want. In my case, the people I work with, because they're healers, because they're holistic practitioners, because they're soulful, they want to talk about the energy of it. They want to talk about the ease of it. They don't always want to talk about the strategy. And the fact that growing a business does take work, and it does take stepping out of our comfort zone, and it does take having a plan and literally like doing the plan. But they want to talk, they want to talk about alignment. They want to talk about trust. They want to talk about what it takes to get in the right place to do the strategies. And so what I got from my business when I was in connection with it and journaling with it was, start talking more about the energy, because the energy and talking about the energy is what will get your people, the people I'm supposed to attract, to know, oh, this woman's not just going to give me a bunch of strategy. She's going to be able to resonate with me at that highest, deepest core, and to help me align my heart so that I can find the right strategy, to help me connect to the divine, connect to my intuition, connect to my innate sovereignty, so that I can show up powerfully and do the strategies, because I'm doing the strategies and they're not working. So when you connect with your business, you literally get a new partner that has wisdom that maybe you can't quite see. And everything is connected to the highest wisdom there is anyways. Your business is literally a facet of the divine. It is an aspect of the divine, just like you are. And just like your coach is, or your friend is, everybody's got a different perspective that does come from something innately divine and all-knowing. But sometimes we only get our own small view. And so the more we open to our guides, to the energy, the spirit of our business, to the spirit of our ideal clients, a way to do this that is similar to connecting to, the spirit of your business is to connect to the soul of your ideal client. And that could be one particular client that you have in mind, but it could be the energetic essence of your ideal client. And when you connect energetically to that client in your imagination, in your heart, then you can kind of ask them, what is it you want from me? What is it that's going to lead you to want to work with me? What do you need more of from me? What do you need less of from me? Where am I doing this wrong? What am I doing right? And you get a sense of what direction to take, how to navigate this sometimes choppy waters of bringing your gifts out into the world. We all need support. We all need to brainstorm. We all need guidance. And we all have tunnel vision. I do. I have multiple coaches. I have friends. I have colleagues that I talk to. I have clients I brainstorm with and I get information from. The whole world is alive to support you. Most of us are not listening. And most of us don't know how to calibrate, almost like calibrate the radio station so we're receiving the guidance that is all around us. And then we're checking, of course. We're checking with our heart. We're checking with our vision. We're checking with our own energy, whether or not the information we're getting resonates and feels alive for us. So these energy practices are essentially there to help you not miss the mark, to help you find your direction and then walk it. And if there is a main point to this live, is I want you to recognize and to remember that growing a business, especially a transformational business, especially a soulful business, is an exploration. It's a dance. It's a dance between you and between your business and between your client, your ideal client, and between the beyond, the infinite, what is possible. And when you start paying attention, when you start asking for guidance, when you start writing down even things that feels kind of weird, then you start becoming aware that life has been speaking all along, and you've had the answers within you, or the ability to get the answers within you all along. So growing a business is both a partnership and an intuitive process where you mix energy and strategy. Don't dismiss strategy. You need it. If you don't have a clear path, if you don't have a step-by-step process, you will get lost. You will waste an outrageous amount of time just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping to see that something sticks, and you'll get frustrated, and you will get resentful, and you'll give up. And in all fairness, if you have a gift to bring the world, you're not allowed to give up. So don't set aside strategy altogether. You need the right strategy. You need somebody who's going to help you to figure out what that looks like and help you explore what that looks like for yourself. And it can take a little bit of time. But the energetic, the getting in the right vibe, the connecting to your mission, and the listening to your own business, to your ideal client avatar, the listening to your guides, the listening to your heart, the listening to your soul, the connecting to your most sovereign self, and feeling what that feels like. If at your highest level you were to move forward and act, what would that look like? There is so much information, and part of your job as the soulful entrepreneur is to find your way to get that information from the field into something tangible that you can use. And that's often where we get lost. We can see synchronicities, we can see that, but we don't actually know how to take all of that, how to make something tangible out of it, and how to just move and go and act from that place and take tangible action from that place. So those are 3 different energies or different practices that you can do. Journaling is really powerful, and just asking questions. If my business was to be an alive being and I was to ask it, what am I doing wrong? What would it say? And just write down the first thing that pops into your mind. The first impression that comes, just write it down, trust it. If my business could have me do one thing different, what would it have me do? Write it down. If my child self who wanted to be powerful and have her life mean something, if she could say one thing to me to do different, what might that be? When I check into that, oftentimes the answer I get is something like, don't be scared, or be fierce, or show up, share, the more the merrier, have fun, be playful. There's wisdom in all these aspects of us and all these aspects of our business. And they all have something tangible and valuable to share. It is our job to start writing down and start trusting what we're writing down and creating, okay, if this feeling was tangible, what would it mean? What would be something I could do? And that's something I help my clients with, not only to figure out the right strategy, but also to figure out the right energetics and how to essentially download the wisdom and figure out what that looks like and what that means tangibly in their lives and in their business. So if that's something you're interested in, I want to remind you, probably in the next few weeks, maybe around the end of August. So we've got a couple months. I've got to plan it. But I'm planning a retreat. It's going to be a free retreat. It's going to be all day long. And it's going to be for soulful, service-based entrepreneurs, healers, holistic practitioners, transformational coaches, who essentially want to grow their business, but do it from a place of alignment, a place of flow, a place of trust, a place of being deeply connected to what's most alive for them. And not only do they want to create an amazing impact, but they want to grow their business financially and have freedom. And I'm going to synergize energy and strategy. So this is going to be a dance between, I'm going to give you an energetic piece, and then we're going to do a strategy. And then I'm going to give you another energetic piece and take you through a process, and then we're going to do a strategy. And essentially, it's going to be an amazing experience where you're going to transform inwardly, but you're also going to transform your business outwardly in terms of attracting a lot more leads. So if you're interested in that, if that feels like you, if that feels like that could be fun and exciting, then put #retreat in the comments, and I will put you on the list, send you the details, connect with you about it. All right, let me take a look at all the comments. Sharon says it takes some of the pressure off too. So I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'm guessing you're referring to like having our business also be an alive being. And it's not just us who have to figure things out. It's literally, we're in partnership. We're in partnership with our soul. We're in partnership with the divine. We're in partnership with our business. We're in partnership with the energy of our ideal clients. And all of us come together to create the strategy, the business that we were all born to create. And Sharon says, sounds fabulous. Of course, Sharon, I will see you at the retreat. I love having Sharon in everything I do. She's amazing. Yeah, she says, yes, that's what I mean. All right, and so this is my group. Oh, I'm terribly not ready again. I'm just going to check really briefly if I see anything on my personal page on Facebook. Unfortunately, when you go live with StreamYard is amazing, but when you go live with StreamYard, it unfortunately does not give you access to comments from your personal page. And I love to go live on my personal page. This is, in many ways, one of the things I want to share with you is I know a lot of us who are kind of, we're intuitive, we are quiet, we don't love to put ourselves out there. This is the most beautiful and funniest aspect of spiritually conscious entrepreneurs is we have a deep desire to be seen and to share and to impact the world, but we equally have a deep desire to stay hidden. And I don't know if this is the witch's wound, right? Like that so many of us who were here to bring a gift were not welcomed into the world for so long, or if it is just that a lot of us are empaths, we are introverts, We are sensitives. And so it's this dance between wanting to put ourselves out there, wanting to be seen, wanting to be visible, wanting to share, and also wanting to be safe and wanting to be hidden. Um, so it took me a long time to go live on my personal page because that was kind of like the place where I was hidden. But the moment I did, and I don't know again if it was energetically, I stepped into my power, I stepped into my courage. But the moment I did that, my business totally shifted. And so that is one of the tip I have for you is look for wherever you're hiding and just take that next step. So I am not seeing any comments on my personal page. So we are done for today. 3 energy practices to align strategy and to set yourself up for success. Connect to your highest vision, that deep, that seed of vision, that feeling that you most desire. Check your vibe and make sure that your vibrations, your energy is aligned with that vision, and do what you need to do to reshift, to refocus. And 3, don't forget that your business is its own being, that your ideal client avatar is its own being, and in some ways has wisdom to impart to you. And ask. Don't be stuck in your own head trying to figure everything out. Ask your business, hey, if you had words, what would you tell me? Ask the energy of your ideal client. What is it you want most? What is it you want me to do? What do I need to shift to reach you? Where are you hiding? Where are you at? How do I connect with you? Is this the right language? Use everything you've got. And know that in everything you connect, you're connecting to the energy of your business, you're connecting to the energy of your ideal clients. You are literally connecting to the divine and to the infinite field of possibilities. And there's answers for you there. All right, that's it. If you want to reach out to me, if you'd like to do this retreat, #retreats. By the way, I'm super happy to connect with you. If you have questions, if you'd like us to get on a brief call and connect and see how I can support you, you can put #brainstorm in the comment to brainstorm with me about your business, or you can message me. Just message me directly on Facebook, and I would love to connect with you. That's it, guys. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for anyone else who was here and didn't say anything. I love your presence. I love your energy. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I always go back and check the messages and the comments. All right. Bye, folks. Have a wonderful week.